Gluten Morgen, everyone, and welcome again to my channel. Today I'm going to make focaccia. Yes, but not the typical focaccia. Today I'm going to make a specific region in Italy called Rome. Yes, Roman focaccia. The difference in this one is that I'm not going to use, as you use usually when you bake focaccia, olive oil. Here is the dough. Take a look at the dough. It's fully fermented with an incredible aroma and it's full of air, super fluffy, and I just want to put my fingers in the focaccia, but not yet, because I am going to use a mold. This one, which is around like 40 centimeters and 50, here you can see it in inches, of course, and I'm going to use a dough of around 2 kilos for this kind of mold. Then you can use my app that I'm going to show you the full recipe as soon as I start baking the focaccia. Then I'll give you the recipe so you can change it and use it in the kind of mold that you're going to use. But as I said, the difference between the regular focaccia that you always bake and the one that I'm going to bake right now is that I'm not going to use any oil yet at the beginning. Usually when you use oil in the mold, on the focaccia, but this time I'm just going to use this, which is semola rimacinata, which is semola, Italian semola, super fine, like flour. I'm going to use it to unmold the focaccia in here. So I'll put some more semolina here. If you don't have semolina, you can use rice flour or maybe just flour. But if you have semolina, it's better because it's going to give a crispier texture to the crust. Okay, so let me melt this slowly and put this in the pan. Okay, well, here comes the zun zun zun. This was not prepared. Maybe this way. Okay, here I go. 1, 2, 3. Wow, there. Here it goes. Wow, okay, good. So here's the focaccia. So right now what I should have done is to pour a lot of olive oil. I am not going to do that because I'm going to use it later. If I use olive oil on the beginning, what I am going to do is to fry the focaccia. So I don't want to fry the focaccia, I just want to bake the focaccia. And then when it comes out of the oven, then I'm going to use a brush to brush it with some olive oil. I am just going to use a little bit of olive oil in my hands so the dough doesn't stick to my fingers. That's the only olive oil that I'm going to use. And now I'm going to poke this focaccia, put my fingers in it to distribute all the air. Take a look at all the bubbles that this focaccia has. So the difference between this and a regular bread, which is not much, is that I'm moving all this air all around the dough so I get a thinner bread and not a loaf of bread that big. That's the difference between this kind of focaccia and a bread. So now that all the gases are a little bit more gently distributed, I'm going to bake this focaccia in my oven, which is already preheated at 250 degrees Celsius, which is around 480 degrees Fahrenheit. Here you have the equivalents. Okay, let's go to the oven. So as I said, here's my deck oven, which is really preheated, pretty hot, and I'm going to bake my focaccia in it. So here it goes. There, may the gluten be with you, and I'll see it in around 20 minutes. Okay, so while the focaccia is in the oven, let's start with the recipe. So as I said, the heart of the recipe is the biga. The biga is the most Roman thing or dough that you can make. And this is the biga. I present to you the power of the biga. The biga is the preferment. If you have seen many videos here on my channel, I always use preferments. Preferment is, as the word says, something pre-fermented. It's a dough pre-fermented. So I take it from a recipe, 100% ingredients. I just take a little bit of the flour, a little bit of the water, a little bit of the yeast, and then I make this biga, this preferment. And then on the next day, I make the final dough. I always recommend, if you want to use a preferment, to make it overnight. So maybe you want to start baking tomorrow morning, then you should start the preferment tonight. So you leave it there at your kitchen room temperature till the next day, and then you have the preferment, in this case a Biga, ready to work. So this is a Biga, but first let's see the recipe. So here is the recipe. I present to you the Focaccia Romana. Remember that you can download free my app for Android and iPhone, and you install my app, and you can then load all the recipes. You can add really easy all my recipes to the app, and you can just put the weight that the dough that you want, and the calculator is going to get ready the recipe that you need, as I am about to make right now. So I have here my recipe. I'm going to make just 1 kilo. As I said, the one that is in the oven right now is 2 kilos. I'm going to mix 1 kilo. It's okay, just to show you what I need. So this is the Biga, the heart of the recipe, and I'm going to put it first here on the bowl of the mixer. I recommend when making doughs with Biga to use always the mixer if you have. So take a look at the Biga. The Biga is this. It's really dry. It's a dough that has only 50% hydration, which means in 1 kilo flour you have, for example, 500 grams of water. So it's a dough, really dry dough, that I'm going to put here in small pieces or chunks in the mixer, so I don't get chunks then in the final dough. So the first thing that we have to do is to dissolve, or to get rid of all the chunks, so we get a gentle dough, clean dough. Okay, good. The smell of the Biga is incredible. And this is the motor. I don't know how to say it. It's the heart. This is the, well, Biga in Italian were these chariots that the Romans used to push with the cows. Okay, so they used to push this in the Roman Colosseum. So, well, that's the name of this dough, because it has a lot of strength. It pushes the dough, so it makes it really airy, fluffy, tender, and it helps a lot on the second day when we are going to mix it. There's all benefits. Okay, so the Biga is here, and I also need a few more ingredients that I'm going to weigh. For example, the water, the rest of the water. Part of the water went to the Biga. Now I'm going to use the rest of the Biga. So let me put this on grams. Here I have some water, and using my app, I know what I need right now. So I need 260 grams of water. It is always better to weigh the water than using volumes. Okay, so I'm weighing water, 250. There, good. Okay, the water, there. Now I need some flour. Yes, I need some flour. Good. So I'm going to use this bowl. I'm using this Italian flour, La Cinque Stagioni, which is really good. It's made of soft wheat. Soft wheat, you have two kinds of wheat, hard wheat and soft wheat. The soft wheat is more extensible. That's why all kinds of Italian breads are better for stretching, like pizza, like ciabatta, like focaccia, scacciata, and everything with accia. So I have 288 grams of flour. I should be using my glasses next time. 288 grams of flour. Too much. There. Okay. And I also need a little bit of yeast, just a little bit more. You can use it. If you're using fresh yeast like this, or maybe you have dry yeast, the equivalence is 1 gram of dry yeast is 3 grams of fresh yeast, and vice versa. 3 grams of this is 1 of the dry. So in this case, the recipe is in fresh, so you should divide it by 3. Okay, so flour, yeast, Biga, water. The only thing that I need is salt. Salt. So when you're using my app, it's really easy. You just put the weight of the final dough that you want to do. In this case, 1 kilo, and the app calculates everything for you. Really, really easy. Okay, so I have everything there. Flour, water, yeast, and Biga. And I'm going to use my mixer to mix all the dough. So, another thing that I always use when I'm baking Biga or making high hydration dough is the paddle instead of the hook. So I put the hook, the paddle on. Let's start the machine, and I'll pour some water at the beginning. Just water to try to dissolve all these chunks of Biga. That's the first thing that I have to do. Then I'll add the flour and the salt. So I'll let this work a little bit by itself, and meanwhile I'll show you how to make the Biga. The Biga of the recipe. Remember that the Biga uses half hydration, 50% hydration. So in the recipe for 1 kilo, I need 288 grams of flour. This Italian flour, type 2-0, which is perfect for this kind of bread. And pizza also, you can make pizza or ciabatta. Okay, 288 there. And if I have 288 grams of flour, and as I said, this has half hydration, then which should be the amount of water that I need? I am reading you in comments. Okay, so half. 144 grams of water. So it's going to be a very dry yeast. 44. Almost there. Perfect. And just a little bit of yeast, not too much. The less you use, the better. It's going to take a little bit more time. The ideal temperature for fermenting your sourdough, your Biga, is around 18 degrees Celsius. And here you have the equivalents in Fahrenheit. And it should be around fermenting for around 18 hours. So maybe in your kitchen you have this perfect temperature, which is not too cold, not too hot, and you leave it there overnight, and then on the next morning you have the dough, the Biga, ready to do the final dough. And as soon as we finish mixing the dough, in a few hours, maybe 1 hour, 2 hours, you are ready to bake, as I am doing right now with the focaccia. So take a look at the texture of the Biga. Look, it's really, really dry. It's a really dry dough. Maybe you can see a few spots with flour, with dry flour, and it's okay. Leave it like this, so the texture is going to be this, dry, super dry. And then, as it's finished, you use it, but you won't see that it's going to grow that much. It grows just a little bit. That's perfect. So, okay, let me cover this. Okay, here's the lid. Good. So now that I have the lid, I'm going to let this ferment slowly till tomorrow. So that's all with the Biga. So let's go back with the dough that we're making right now. So what we have, here we have the Biga being mixed, and now I'm going to add the rest of the flour. There it goes. Good. And I still have some more water, and I'm going to add it really slowly. There. As soon as the dough starts to look like a dough, I also add the flour, the salt. There. And I only have left this little amount of water that I'm going to add really slowly. This is called basinage. So if you do it really slowly, you're going to do it faster. If you add the water slowly, you end up mixing dough faster. If you add all the water at the beginning, the mixing is going to be much longer and the result is not going to be that good. That's why it's better to do this method, which is called basinage in French. Okay, so the dough is almost ready. What I'm looking for is for the dough to hold the paddle. Okay, pour this over. So now we have to wait just a few seconds or minutes till the dough is ready. Take a look at this. Okay, the dough is almost ready. Take a look. Dough is holding the paddle, so that means that the dough is done. Good. So, there's no time. You always ask me, how long does it take to get the dough ready? There's no time. It depends on many things. First, on the flour that you're using, then the type of machine you're using, the speed, the weather, the many things. So, what you need to look is for this, the strength of the dough. You need to make the dough really strong, and then you need to check the membrane, the gluten membrane, or the gluten development. So when you get a good gluten membrane, that means that the dough is ready. So next time, don't look at your watch, that's why I don't have a watch, and look at your dough. So now I'll put it here on the counter, there, and I'll make a few slap and folds, like my friend Bertinet, and you'll see how beautiful the dough turns out. There. Beautiful, shiny dough. And this is what I'm talking about. The membrane. This is what you should be aiming. Good translucent membrane, like this. Strong membrane, that means that the dough is ready. So, let me put this in a bowl, and we're almost ready. And also the focaccia, I think so. There, a little bit of olive oil there. Woo. Now goes the focaccia in. There, let me cover it. And the dough, when it doubles in size, is ready to be baked. As you saw at the beginning of the video. You put a little bit of semolina on the mold, the dough, stretch it to the oven. So now I have to wait few hours, but meanwhile I'm going to take a look at the focaccia. Okay, it's been 21 minutes, and I think that the focaccia is almost ready. Ooh, take a look at it. Beautiful, golden and crispy. Yes, okay, let's go back to the lab. Ooh, this is really hot. Take a look at it. I think it's beautiful. Okay, so I'll use this. Ooh, yeah. Super light. So I'll use this cooling rack, just a few seconds. So the difference between temperature, which is the focaccia is really hot, and here the surface is cold. I don't want it to get wet, so that's why I use first the cooling rack. Just a few minutes. Okay, let me check how it is. Oh, ow, it's hot, but it's light. Ow, and as you can see, it's not that golden because I still need to pour a little bit of olive oil and see how the color changes while I pour some olive oil. There. Now with a brush, I'm going to do it like this, and now it's looking gorgeous. Beautiful. Like sunshine. And the smell is perfect. And now comes the best part, the sandwich. Okay, so time to open this up. Let me put this on the board. Ooh, it's hot. And here I have it. Let me use this first. This is hot. So, let's go. Ooh. The best noise ever. Sa-dun, sa-da-da-da-dun. Let the steam come. Ooh. Oh, I feel like in Norway, in a sauna. Beautiful. Oh, it's hot. Ah. Okay, so now comes the best part. Here I have a few ingredients, not too much, but the right amount and the right ingredients that I need. Some prosciutto cotto, which is ham. Some beautiful tomatoes from my backyard. I don't know, in my backyard, well, maybe. Some mascarpone cheese and avocado. Avocado is Italian? No, it's not Italian. Well, I'm going to use it anyway. So I'm going to cut this in, I don't know, like 6 pieces. And I'm going to make just one sandwich for me. Whoa. There. And how big I want, like this. Oh, this is really hot. So beautiful. Take a look at the crumb. Beautiful crumb. It have. So I'm going to prepare this sandwich with this piece of focaccia. So first, let's go with the mascarpone cheese. Here on the bottom. Oh, more. I think we need more mascarpone. If you don't have mascarpone, you can use just regular cheese, cream cheese. And now tons of this Italian prosciutto cotto, which is just ham, your ham. So there, oof, beautiful. So tomato. Let's cut some tomatoes here. Let's slice a tomato. These tomatoes are beautiful. Okay, some beautiful tomato. Oh, tomato. And pinch of salt. Here. There. And of course, olive oil. And now comes the avocado. Woo. Here comes the avocado. Like this. Ooh. And also this. Really Italian. Well, the colors are Italian. Oh. The colors are Italian. Now, just a little bit more of olive oil. And the last pinch of salt. There. And get ready. Sourdough. Wow. So here I present to you my super focaccia sandwich. Take a look at this. Isn't it beautiful? Isn't it gorgeous? And it's really easy to do. The thing that you have to do is to prepare beforehand the biga. If you know, just to organize a little bit your times, when you make the biga the day before, then on the next morning you just mix the final dough, and in a few hours you have this incredible bread focaccia to make your sandwich, right? It's really easy to do. You can do it. Remember to use a good flour, like in this case it's Italian flour, the 5 Stagioni, and you have this incredible focaccia at home. So now comes the best part, the tasting part. And please, as usual, subscribe, give me a like, and say me something in the comments, and I'll be making more videos for you. May the gluten be with you. Ooh. The avocado is... It's really Italian. I think that avocado is from Italy. Good.